press on get it, got it. Cool. We can start.
All right, guys, welcome to day 3 of Design Week. It's been halfway through the week, and we started with basics of designing, which was taken by Rahul, and it was on day 1. Then we had logo designing competition. So, we just wanted to give you an experience of how designing looks like for logos and for startups, who wants to go to a market with a good digital design and a good logo design. Um, Today we are gonna move towards a product design a bit. Like from these next 2 to 3 days, you will be seeing sessions related to product design. What exactly product design is, what actually is UI UX designing in product, and today we are gonna focus on much more important aspect, that is UX research, and it's gonna be taken by Viraj, Rahul, Rohan, Sajal, and Hrishikesh. They were part of the cohort 4 of 10K designers, and they did a very splendid job on creating a case study for our own community, BlueLearn. Thanks a lot, guys, for doing that. Hats off to you. I mean, it's really helping us to pivot to what we can actually work on for our own community, and that's really great. So yeah, handing over to you all, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. So I think I'll just first present my screen, and maybe from there on we can move forward. Let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah, all good. Okay, also good.
Yeah, it is visible clearly.
Is it? Okay. Awesome. So just give me a sec. Yeah. So hello everyone. I welcome every member of the BlueLearn community. First of all, thank you for joining in. It means a lot, and we hope that you learn something today. But before beginning this session, I know that a lot of you must be having question as to who we are, why are we taking this lecture, even though Divyansh presented us very well. But still, let me just move forward and introduce ourselves. First of all, I am Viraj. I am a UI UX designer. I manage ops, which is operations at the Product Folks. It's a product management community. You can check it out on Twitter. And also, again, I am a student at the 10K Designers. Hrishikesh, would you like to go next?
So, hey guys, what's up? Hrishikesh here, and same part of 10K Designers, Cohort 4. In my past life, I worked as a mechanical engineer, more into R&D, and I was into building digital products. Oh, sorry, my bad. Physical products, but now I'm into building digital products along with Viraj, Rohan, and Sajal. So yeah, next, Rohan, you might introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, hi guys, what's up? So myself, Rohan Kalra. I used to work for a year as a 3D architect visualizer. Then after quitting my job, worked as a growth and marketing intern with a startup for like 6 to 7 months, where I stumbled upon product designing, UI UX, as they say. Then to Abhinav's video, and I landed at 10K Designers Cohort 4, where we are also learning and designing digital products like everyone else. I'll let Sajal introduce himself next.
Yeah, cool. So hey guys, Sajal here. So I did my graduation in civil engineering and graduated last year. So around the pandemic era, I discovered design and have been in pursuit of design ever since, and joined the 10K Designers Cohort for upskilling myself. So yeah.
Awesome, guys. So we, as a team of 6 people, unfortunately, 2 of them, Mihir Singh and Priya Makwana, are not able to come today. But we, as a team of 6 people at the 10K Designers, we got an assignment where we had to research on an online community, and we were searching for various communities, and we did not find any community better than BlueLearn. We had some criterias while making a choice, and BlueLearn ticked all of them. And also it is also known as the most active student community in India. And yeah, after we published this case study, we got a lot of praising on, Twitter, and our article, which we published on Medium, got more than, 1,000 claps. And even Harish, he also tweeted about us and appreciated us. So in today's session, we are here to share our learnings from the first day where we started, about the research, to today where we have published our case study and are getting somewhat job opportunities from, some of the companies out there. And also, after this session, maybe you will have a good idea as to how you can kickstart your own journey as a UI UX designer or as a UX researcher. So disclaimer, in today's session, we are just going to concentrate upon the research part, right? When you talk about product design in itself is a huge process and it starts with research. And in today's session, we are going to talk about just that. And also, for all the people who are going to stay here till the end of the session, we have a very amazing gift for you. We're going to share a resource that we got from one of our alumni mentor, and that resource is still helping us in our, UX research still. So for all the people who are going to stay till the end, you have the gift. So let me just give you an overview as to what we are going to covering in today's session. So we'll start with what is UXR, user experience research, just the basic definition. Then we'll jump on to why UXR is important, because a lot of people have, that misconception that product design is all about, colors, typographies, shapes, and just the beauty of it. But there's always a logic behind that beauty. And when we talk about logic, there's a, research backed by it. So why the types of researches, research methodologies, and also a very important part, the process of UXR. We'll be talking about that broadly. And after that, we'll give you a sneak peek into our own case study, how we implemented all these learnings, right? So let's just jump into the, things. And nothing better to start the session than to start it with the quote by Steve Jobs, where he says that design is not just what it looks like and feels like, design is how it works. And in today's session, we are just going to talk about how it works, because the major misconception, as I said earlier as well, is that design is all about looks and feels. But there's always a sense behind that looks and feels, and that sense is always backed by a research. And that is what we are going to talk in today's session. So what is actually UXR? So again, user experience research is a process through which companies try to understand user perspective, basically how the user sees the problem. There's always a problem solved by a company or by a product. So how does the user see the problem? User product interaction. If there's already a product, how does the user interact with the product? Understanding the user flows from the start to the end. Let's say you are ordering something on Amazon. So from discovering a product to placing an order, the complete thing is called the user flow. So understanding the user flow and helping designers understand users' mental model. Very important point, because designers, if you are making a product, you need to make it for the users, right? And for that, you need to understand who your user is, which is called the target audience. So let's take an example of Instagram. So Instagram, the major target audience of Instagram is of, people from the age group of 16 to 24. I might be wrong with the actual numbers, but it's for teenagers. So whatever they make in the app, whatever colors they use, whatever format, whatever typography they use, it is optimized for these teenagers. So they understand the user's mental model, and this is then given to the designers, and they make such designs which is appealing to the TG, target audience. So that is what UX research is. Why is UXR important? I think by now this might be very clear, but let me just go forward with it. Removing guesswork, right? So whenever a problem statement comes to the design team, basically when you start building the product, there are a lot of assumptions that you make, right? Because let's say you have a problem statement, you don't know, you haven't studied anything. So there are a lot of assumptions in your mind. So these assumptions need to be removed, because designing and shipping a product takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of money, takes a lot of time. So you can't make products on the basis of your assumptions, right? And there's also a thing called hypothesis, right? We will be talking about this when we will be presenting our case study. So designers always have some hypothesis from which they start the research process, and at the end of the research process they validate their hypothesis. Their hypothesis can be right, it can be wrong. So removing the guesswork is very important. Making smarter designs, as we talked earlier, optimizing it for the users. How we talked about Instagram. A smarter design is optimizing it for the users and improving the overall user experience. This includes everything from check-in to checkout, from start to end. That's why UXR is important. Types of research. There are 3 types of researches broadly, and let's talk about them one by one. First one is quantitative versus qualitative, right? So quantitative means deriving measurable insights, which this could include data and statistics. Let's say that you are doing a user survey. What is a user survey? Where you roll out forms, where you roll out feedback forms. And let's say from those feedback forms, you understand that your app is major 30%, your app is used by 30% male and 70% female. Or let's say your app is used the most at 2 a.m. So everything that includes data, everything that includes numbers is called quantitative. It can be measured, right? And something which can't be measured, right? It is called qualitative. So this majorly includes user emotions. We'll be talking about something called as journey mapping in the case study, but qualitative research is very important, because let's say that a person is using our app at point A, he's very happy because his problem is getting solved, but at point B, he's very frustrated because your app is not responding the way it should respond. So he's frustrated at point B. So you can't really measure the level of frustration, right? But these things are also very important, because as a researcher, you need to find those pain points. You need to find those, frustration points and improve on them, so that you can improve your overall product journey and experience. Attitudinal versus behavioral. Attitudinal means involving where you ask people about their opinion. One thing that researchers do is that they interview users, right? So you have a set of questions. In the case of BlueLearn, we interviewed around 12 to 13 people, right? So we asked them several questions, right? And whatever they are saying comes under attitudinal, type of research. Second is behavioral. It involves observing person's action. So as a researcher, this is a very important thing that you need to keep in mind, that people not always mean what they say. Not that they are lying. It's a human nature where they mean something and they end up saying something else. It happens in our life as well. So as a researcher, you need to accept this flaw of humans, and that's why something like behavioral research exists, and that's why you have to observe what they are trying to say and proceed with that kind of research as well. Don't worry if these are not able, you are not able to understand them. While we present the case study, it will be very, very clear. Last but not the least, primary versus secondary. Primary means getting insights directly from the user, where you derive insights directly from the user. So user is the source and you get insights directly from that source. And secondary is insights that one gets from other sources. So in our case, doing user interviews was primary, because we got information directly from the users. But secondary could be where we just went on the internet and we searched what was the rise of edtech in 2021, how many people use Discord for learning, etc., etc. So something that we can get information from someone else, not that something that we have procured from our own, is comes under secondary. And interestingly, it is also called desk research, because you can sit on a desk and with your laptop you can just search on the internet and gather information. So these are the 3 types of researches. Let me just encapsulate every one of them. Qualitative versus quantitative. Qualitative is emotions, quantitative is numbers. Attitudinal versus behavioral, what they say and what they actually do. Primary, getting information directly. Secondary, getting information from any other source. Research methodologies, very interesting part of the overall session. You are seeing a lot of them in front of you: user interviews, surveys, A/B testing, etc., etc. So these are the standard research methodologies, right? You use these methods to get out insights and all, right? Now you might be uh, seeing these many methodologies, you might be like petrified, but don't worry. As I said in earlier, that I'm going to share a gift with you all. So that gift is particularly a compilation of articles which will be talking about each one of them separately. So it's a doc where there will be articles on user interviews, surveys, A/B testing, etc., etc. So we are going to share that with you at the end of the session. And once you read that, I can guarantee that each one of them will be clear by you. And also, you don't have to memorize them. No one's gonna ask you, bro, what's user stories? Tell me the definition of affinity mapping. That doesn't happen. But as a researcher, it's your it's your duty or it's your responsibility to know these standard research methodologies, and you should know how you can implement or use them. And also, you don't have to use all of them, right? One thing in research that you have to keep in mind is you will always have plenty of options. You will always have the bandwidth of doing user interviews, surveys, A/B testing, but not everyone is useful. So you have to decide which method to pick up, which type of research to pick up, depending upon the problem statement, depending upon the time limit you have. So you have to be very smart as a researcher as to which one you have to pick. How did we pick up in our case study? We'll talk about that when we'll present that. Don't worry, we are going to share a resource, so this would be very clear. Last but not the least, process of UXR. Just want a clarification. Am I audible?
Yeah, bro, you're totally audible.
Awesome. Should I go slow or anything of that sort, or is it fine?
No, you're just going. Like
Awesome. So last thing, we're gonna talk about process of UXR. So this is a very important thing. I would want everyone to pay attention in this part specifically, because we did a lot of mistakes here because we were beginners as well when we were doing the case study. So broadly, the process of UXR is divided into three parts: observing, understanding, analyzing, right? So it starts with observation. As a researcher, you need to observe, you need to understand the problem statement. So how we did in BlueLearn's case study was that we spent a week just observing people in the BlueLearn server, Discord server. We spent hours and hours on the VCs where we were just listening. We were not even unmuting ourselves or giving some input from our side. We were just listening what you guys are talking and maybe making notes while you are speaking. Or maybe when you're doing user interviews, you make notes, right? So that is observation, where you are gathering inputs, right? You're not making any assumptions. One of the mistakes that we did was that we made some assumptions at the start, which researchers should not do. You just need to gather inputs. Once you have gathered the inputs, the second step comes in, which is making patterns out of inputs, right? So always remember, as a researcher, your job is to make patterns and not form your final output on the basis of individual inputs, right? So coming back to the same example of attending VCs, we found a pattern that you guys are talking a lot about careers. You guys are talking a lot about growth, right? So this was a kind of pattern that we noticed throughout the BlueLearn server throughout those 7 days, right? So this is a kind of pattern you have to find out. Last step, which is deriving insights from patterns. So, as I said earlier, the job of a researcher is to not form insights on individual inputs, but to form insights on the basis of patterns. So let me just give you an example, right? So let's say you have done 10 user interviews, right? And on which one person says that the feature X on your product is very beautiful, right? And 9 people say that the same feature X is very bad. It's of no use. What should a UX researcher do in such a case? Should he go what the one person said, or should he go what the 9 people said? So researcher always needs to find patterns, right? So in this case, those 9 people had a pattern that they were criticizing and speaking negative about that particular thing. And that's why you as a researcher need to improve that particular feature X of your product. So deriving insight from patterns. So first you gather inputs, then you form patterns, then you form insights. Last part of the whole session, whatever we have learned till now, everything that we discussed, what is UXR, why is it important, etc., etc. Now we'll show you the physical implementation, the practical implementation of everything, because now we'll tell you how we built our case study on UXR, right? So is my Medium article visible?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I would want Rohan to go first, and
Hey guys,
he can go first. Yeah.
great man, great. Yeah, am I audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So okay, let's just right away jump into the case study. So first introduction, as Viraj also said, that this was a UX research case study given to us as a team assignment of 6 people at 10K Designers, where we had to research around an online community. One thing, this research we did in the end weeks of September, and the article was published somewhere around first weeks of October. So you might see some changes on BlueLearn Discord, like compared to then when we did the case study, because we did it at the September end week, right? So as I said, this was a UX research case study. Mission, or to put it in a better way, objective was to prepare a UX research report around an internet community where we can understand their member or users patterns, and if possible identify certain kinds of products or features to make that experience better, right? So this was our team: Viraj, Sajal, me, Mihir, Priya, and Rishikesh. Then let's give you the project information. One thing to remember here is, when you're writing a case study or preparing your UX research report, always remember to give a context, right? Because someone's reading it for the first time, they need to have that context. Why I do certain things and what exactly this is. So our niche was EdTech, as we all know. Community name BlueLearn. Project duration 9 days. Again, an important thing. Design is an endless process. It will never end. You will always find new things every day, right? But you have to respect the deadline. In real worlds, you have to respect that deadline. Our goals with this research was, we wanted to understand how BlueLearn community functions, what were the expectations of the members who are part of these communities, and if they have any certain kind of pain points. Basically, they want something to be improved, and if possible, ideate for certain kind of solutions. Let me give a research overview what we did in this case study. We first performed secondary research. As Viraj very well put up, like, secondary research is mostly sitting on your desk and going around on internet and finding everything and anything you related to your problem statement or to your objective, right? So we performed that secondary research. Then we drafted insights from that research to go ahead and prepare questions for our survey and user interviews, which we are going to do in primary research. Then on that basis, we carried out a primary research and broke down some user behavior patterns. Then after conducting our primary research, which was basically confined of user interviews, we structured all the insights and created a user persona and journey mapping to define that better. What is user persona and journey mapping? As we progress ahead with the case study, you'll get to know it better, right? So don't panic if you don't know right now. As I said, context is important. What is BlueLearn? You guys already know, so I'm going to skip that. But here we need to tell the reader that what is BlueLearn. Then why BlueLearn? in a case study, in a report, nothing can be random, right? You need to have reasons behind what you're doing and why you're doing it. So why BlueLearn? Our reasons were, we knew that EdTech saw a huge boost during pandemic, right? And BlueLearn is one of that platform who still is harnessing that power of internet, which people realized much more during the pandemic, to bring all the students together from all India where they can connect and grow. Other few reasons were, of course, it's a huge community of 40,000 plus members, and that to an active community. It's an early stage startup. And my personal favorite was, they are solving a big time problem of bridging the gap between like tier 2 and 3 colleges and bringing them together, providing them a premium network, and which is amazing, by the way. So also offline classes were being shut during COVID-19. So as I am out of my student phase, I wanted to know how students are learning, right? How they are interacting with each other. So one of the things we find out that BlueLearn raised a seed fund, pre-seed fund, just an article to always mention the links for the articles where you find these kind of numbers. Now let's jump to secondary research. We have already explained what secondary research is: going on internet, finding anything and everything. Now, and everything can't be random in your report. So why we conducted secondary research? Because we wanted to understand what BlueLearn does different and how does this stand apart from other edtech companies, right? How internet communities are facilitating learning. How does community work? We wanted to know all these things, right? So first thing of secondary research, BlueLearn is an edtech. BlueLearn is in sort of an edtech space. So we wanted to understand education in the post-pandemic era, right? We remember pre-pandemic, pre-lockdown, online learning was all sort of us like a secondary thing. We were never taking it too seriously. It was not a norm. But during pandemic, it became sort of a norm because your college and school classes also shifted online, and you also wanted to explore more new things, new skills. And just to put out a data, Byju's alone registered 20 million students in the time of pandemic, and now it has 64 million students, right? Also, important thing to remember here, I'm putting out a data like Byju's alone, so 20 million and all of that numbers. Again, remember, wherever you're reading that, which article you're referring to, always give a link. Credibility to your case study, to your report is always the most important thing. It shouldn't be random, right? After researching out edtech, we realized edtech was solving for learning. There were a multiple amount of courses, but it wasn't really solving for the social aspects. COVID की वजह से, due to COVID, like we all were sitting at home, learning from our home, and it becomes boring. We had no place to network, right? So where do the students or the kids go to network? How they are socializing, how they are growing, right? So that's where internet communities jump in, and that's the way they are facilitating the learning. They are making it fun. You find like-minded people to interact with, to chat with, which is fun and engaging. You collaborate on different projects. If you are a designer, you find other designer where you can collaborate. If I'm a product designer, I need a logo designer. You can collaborate, you can network with amazing people, which you probably wasn't possible in an offline space, right? Because he's living in a different city. You can get access to job and internship opportunities just sitting to home, right? So I hope you understand all of this is what I've said. So just to end it here with a beautiful quote by Helen Keller: alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, right? So I let Sajal take over from here about BlueLearn stats and everything as we progress ahead with the case study. Yeah, Sajal, go ahead.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Rohan. So yeah, now that we have a general idea of how edtech industry works, so we decided now to dive deep into what essentially BlueLearn is, and what their products and what are their products and where they lie. So during our research, we found out that BlueLearn has different courses. They organize live events, competitions, clubs, and various social events. So I guess you guys are mostly familiar about various products that BlueLearn has. So I'll just give a brief of one of them. So competitions. So BlueLearn organizes various competitions ranging from hackathons to gaming tournaments. So it not only encourages participation and increases engagement in the community, but also develops a spirit in the game, and enhances the learning experience. Also, during our research, we found out that these niches were the thing BlueLearn targeted. So yeah, you can take a look at this. So yeah, the next thing we focused on was the platforms or the tools which BlueLearn used to shape this community experience. And we discovered that BlueLearn uses three major platforms, that is Discord, WhatsApp, and Zoom, right? So the first and major part being Discord, where it is the main campus area, and it has close to around 40,000 plus students, which is very huge. So yeah, and then we went on explaining these points for the reader. So as you guys already know, so I'll skip that part. So yeah, this image, we included this image, uh, just to tell the readers that how BlueLearn community essentially looks like, because not every user reader is a part of BlueLearn community, right? In the Discord server. So yeah. And the next part is, other than just the products that BlueLearn has, it also has things which, enhances the community experience, which is really impressive. One of them being open source club, where, there is they focus on open source development projects, and students can collaborate on various projects and develop their skills as such. So yeah, you can read about them in the later part of the case study. Next, we also figured out that managing a huge level of community on Discord of around 40,000 people is a huge task in itself. So yeah, BlueLearn essentially has moderators and bots to ensure a smooth flow of community. So we generally categorize these bots, studied them, and categorize them into these generic categories, which is roughly playing music, server moderation, social media alerts. And one interesting bot which BlueLearn is working on is called Sleepbot or Spookbot, which is now said, which is really interesting and impressive. The next platform on which they are is WhatsApp. So as you guys know that WhatsApp is the most frequently used app everywhere. So how BlueLearn essentially smartly uses this platform is that it is practically impossible to maintain this such a huge community on WhatsApp, because there is 100 people limitation on WhatsApp groups. So what they essentially do is instead they use this platform as give announcement and updates of various events they organize. So yeah, and lastly, they use Zoom as their platform. So as you guys know that Zoom is video centric platform. So how BlueLearn used it as to give a more human and interactive way, just like this video call or this event is being organized on Zoom, right? So yeah, the next part we focused on is to go through their social media handles, and see what type of interaction they are doing with their audience, and what type of content they are putting to engage with their audience. So these are few social media platforms which they are in, and they put up various pieces like Twitter threads, Instagram reels, carousels, and all sorts of stuff. So one interesting thing we found out that was that to cater to the younger target audience of BlueLearn, they use the dank meme yeah, which is really impressive memes. Yeah. And yeah, the last and important phase in the research is competitive analysis. So why we did competitive analysis is that edtech industry is very competitive as of now, right? Every day we have different products and various solutions coming up. So, we just wanted to, see how where BlueLearn stands as a platform, and where they give, learning, community learning aspects, and where it stands with the rest of the competitors, not direct, also indirect ones. So here we jotted down various factors on which we chose to compare all of these, and you guys can take a look after this session right now on the case study. So yeah, for the primary research, I think I'll hand it off to Rishikesh for explanation.
All right. Thank you, Sajal. I am audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So we already spoke about the different types of research, right? But we'll, kind of deep dive into how we went on to do our primary research, right? So primary research is nothing but first-hand research to understand your users better. Why we did it? To understand user behavior patterns and to find few pain points, if any, of any BlueLearn community member, and also to understand what their mindset is and what the intent was, when they joined the server, right? So like Viraj mentioned before, we interviewed around 12 BlueLearn members, and we kind of divided them into 3 different categories or segments: moderators and other community managers, BlueLearn community members, and the BlueLearn team, right? In primary research, we started off with the interview process, right? And again, we selected our users based on 3 different parameters, right? One was activity day, as in how active they were in the server, the background, where they came from. They were coders, they were designers as well, right? And also what their roles in the community were. Most of them actually happen on Discord and Google Meet. You can actually see we have Viraj here, we have Adnan, Yug. Yug is one of the, you can say, was one of the most active members in open source and coding, right? I think he's busy. He's busy in some other work, so not that active. So after all the user interviews, what we did was we got a lot of findings, and like Viraj explained, you connect all these findings, you connect all the dots, and then come on to few insights, right? These are a few insights that we found. Like for example, most students are ambitious about their career choices and hence are curious to explore new skills, right? So this is not something we got it directly on a plate, right? We asked questions, we went around, right? We connected different behaviors of different people that we interviewed, and then finally we came on to that insight. Further on, we realized we need some more inputs, and that's why we thought, we wanted to do a user survey also. We talk about qualitative research, right? More on the data points, more on the numbers. But again, because of the community guidelines, we couldn't do it. But later on, you can actually, have a look on a link, the way we framed our questions, why we framed that, what was our intent behind that, right? So you can go through afterwards. So because we couldn't, do the user survey, what we did was a field research. Initially, also we spent some time in the server to get to know how the server functions, how you all interact. But again, we spent almost a week, spectating you guys, attending events, taking part, right, and just observing and getting all those findings. Just looking at you, how you interact. There were a few events like on freelancing, on stock market and investing, right? So we just attended and saw and got a lot of, you can say, points. So these are not insights, these are our observations, or you can say these are our findings, right? Again, to support the insights that we got in our user interview part, right? So next, what we did was we created user personas. Why user personas, or what are user personas is nothing, but we do this to create reliable and more realistic representations of what your users are. For example, if you're creating any kind of product or app, right? If you don't know your users better, you don't know for whom you're building at the first place, right? the better you know your users, the better you know your consumers, the better you are able to, you can say, build better products for them, and at the same time solve their problems, right? So here, after, you can say, getting our insights, we kind of frame two different personas. You can see here a high school student and an undergrad freelancer. So you can see how we got these particular inputs from our user interviews and field research. We listed down their goals and motivations, what their traits were, a little bit about them, and also what their pain points were. Right. Again, Sumit Sharma is not, you can say, a real life person. It's just a representation of how, what a BlueLearn community server member look like. Right. After that, what we do is we come on to the, or you can say, one of the final parts where, which is called user journey mapping. It's nothing but, and it's to give an idea of how a person moves through different steps in a particular product or in a particular space in order to achieve his or her goal, right? For example, if you are, buying something on Amazon, like Viraj said, you're purchasing something, you're ordering something on Swiggy, right? You do a lot of steps. You select a restaurant, you select your own dish, then you go and make the payment, right? So here you can see below we have listed the steps that you might have taken, a particular member might have taken in order to join the BlueLearn server in the first place. And then we have associated them with the emotions. What were the emotions associated with that particular member or the user while doing that particular activity or task, right? Some of you might have joined the BlueLearn server through one of the Harish's videos, right? So here we show the entire journey from discovering BlueLearn to actually becoming one of the most, you can say, active members in the server, and then carrying out your own, your own actions. Like, for example, someone is a freelancer, people are getting, freelance clients. Someone is attending English VC, right? Someone is, there's a design thon also in future coming up. So how you find we map out the whole journey from the start to the end, right? I think here on, Viraj can take over and, explain you the major pain points and how we kind of try to solve for it, and the solutions and the suggestions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, I see some of the hand raised. We are towards the end of the session, so just hold on for maybe just 5 minutes. Maybe we'll then get to the Q&A part. So yeah, major pain points. We have done the secondary research, we have done the primary research, we have done user personas, we have done journey mapping, etc., etc. Now we have done a lot of research. We have used a lot of types. We have used a lot of methods, and we have a lot of insights and patterns as well. But to jot down everything to a single point where it can be understandable, you need to boil it down to some point. So whatever we have done above, from the start to this point, we have, boiled it down to these pain points. As a researcher, the work of a researcher is to, understand the pain points, and then the whole team or the whole company works on it to, make better solutions and improve it. Let's not go deep into these pain points, but just to read out one of them. Users find it hard to navigate the Discord server and get overwhelmed when they first join the BlueLearn Discord, because there are a lot of activities, there are a lot of channels, a lot of niches on which BlueLearn targets. So this was one of the problems that we found out. Last step, solutions and suggestions. Just to keep this out, solutions and suggestions is not a part of a researcher, but if you are a researcher and if you're pointing out problems, you should always know how you could point out solutions for that. Generally, in a company, if you further go forward and work with someone, so you give the pain points to the team, and generally people who are at the top, people who are like the head of designs or the founder or maybe the stakeholders, people who are at the top position, they try to find solutions and suggestions amongst the the top team. As addressed one of the points here, users find it hard to navigate. I'll just let you know how we found a solution for that. So one solution that we made for that was that improving community navigation and structure, tracking retention in channels, removing dead or repetitive channels such as English VC pings, etc. So basically, what we told here is just improving the track information architecture or the channels overview. The navigation can be improved. Hence, people will find it easier to navigate from channel to channel. One thing a researcher needs to know is that a solution can be a very small solution. BlueLearn has 26 bots already in their server. When I'm saying this, while we did the research, there might be more by this time. But how can adding one bot make a difference, right? A small feature as adding a bot, or maybe the solution can be a very big feature where BlueLearn needs to move from Discord to a whole together new app. So there's a huge variety. You can suggest a solution, but you need to give solutions in such a way that it is implementable and it makes sense to the team and to everything else. So yeah, this is basically solutions and suggestions, and this is where the case study ends. Just to address some of the learnings while we did the case study as a team of researchers in the assignment, we found out that working in team is more about synergy. Teamwork is about efficient collaboration and using strengths to achieve a common goal, right? So it can't be like ki bro tu primary kar le, hum secondary kar lete. It can't be like that. You have to collaborate with each other. That's what we have learned. We might be wrong at this point because we are also learning in the process. Another thing that we found out that we need to ask the right questions. As Rohan said that there's always a deadline, right? And there's such a huge choice in front of you. What do you choose? And how effectively you choose is very important. And similarly, asking the right questions is also very important. Research is a never-ending process because if there's a product, there's always some amount of improvement needed. If there's an improvement needed, the research is also needed to improve it. And also jumping to conclusions, as I pointed out earlier, shouldn't be done. You need to synthesize the information and take decisions thereafter. So yeah, this was the case study we wrote, and this was the material that we had to present. Thank you everyone for listening to this point. Also, just let me tell you what was the gift that I was talking about. So the gift is this. I hope it's visible. It's the UX Research Kit Starter Pack. It is written by Vaishnav, who works at Swiggy. He was our alumni mentor, and he shared this with us. So you see what is UX research, secondary research, user surveys, everything, right? And it's still work in progress, meaning he's still adding new and new things on this. So we'll share this in the Discord server. Rishikesh, if you can share this in the chat as well, it would be great. Any of you?
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah.
Adding.
So this was what we had to present. I hope you learned something. And I open the floor for questions. Divyansh.
Thanks a lot, guys. That was really insane. I mean, I'm just a newbie here. Okay, you can just getting an idea of how UX research is done from scratch to a very fundamental thing which a design needs. It's really, really amazing to see that process. And hats off to you guys. You just pulled it off very nicely. We have a couple of raised hands here. We have Abhiram. You have any question? I'm just asking you to unmute. Oh yeah. Yeah, Abhiram.
Hey guys, so my question is that I'm a designer. I do motion graphics and other graphics.
Stage, right? You can actually land opportunities anywhere from the world. This is one way. Second thing would be how Viraj does this, right? And Viraj is very, very bullish on Twitter, right? He engages with a lot of content, in the startup ecosystem as well. So if you follow good startups, they are quite active on Twitter, engage with their content, and then slow and steadily you can he got a small the simple answer would be to leverage internet as much as possible. Is Discord, is Twitter, is LinkedIn, and make good connections, build good relations over the net. You never know, you can even find good projects through even Instagram DMs.
Yeah.
Right. I think others can also add to it. Yeah. Viraj.
One thing that I would like to add is, like you said, do I need to know research? Bro, if you know it, you are at no harm, right? Like we did a session today. maybe just watching that session, or just the doc that we have shared, reading one article a day, maybe a half article a day for that matter, you will just gather the information in your mind, and God knows where this information plays out, and how it turns out to be. So do you need it? I would say it's not a compulsion, but if you have it, it's always a better thing, because if you are a graphic designer, there will always be a researcher in your team and a UI in the UI UX team. So
Yeah, I just don't like motion design that part doesn't require research, right? Like if you're working at a startup, graphic design is mostly related to marketing, but you always have a researcher who will guide you in that sense. Also, one thing to add to Rishikesh thing, like leveraging internet, start putting your work out there. Like we are also learning the same thing, right? We have been taught the same thing at 10K. We will also start doing that, or some of our like Viraj and all of that are doing it. So start putting your work out there and start leveraging internet. That's the best place to find, right?
also folks, there are a lot of hand raised, so let's do it quick.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for answering to Viram. That was very great. We have Bhavya with us. Hey, Bhavya.
Hello. So I have a question. Like what I learned through your presentation is that you must go through a lot of data. So what is the process of picking up the right kind of data and sorting it and basically organizing it?
Yeah. So very, very amazing question, because as we said, research is an endless process. You have so much. So it very much depends upon the problem statement, what you are given, what's the problem statement. And so I am also learning. So what I do, I can share that. So for me, I take out methods that are no use to me. I deduct methods, right? So maybe doing online research is not needed for me. Maybe I can just go forward with user interviews. But how do you decide that? It is very well dependent on the problem statement. And one thing that you can keep in mind is while choosing a particular type of method or a particular type of research, just ask yourself why I am picking this up. Why? If you concentrate on the why, you will always have a reason. And see, as we presented our case study, let's say secondary research, we started off with why we did the secondary research, right? So whenever you ask yourself why, you have the thoughts out. So this always helps. And maybe you don't if you don't have the answer of why you're doing it, I don't think it's needed in the case study. If anyone wants to answer, they can go forward.
Yeah, just
clarify here. Okay, sorry, Rohan. Rohan, you can go.
Just why and what of things, right? Like why are doing it and what you will get out of it. Then you will also, design is an iterative process, right? Sometimes you do certain things and you'll get a data and you realize, okay, I don't need this data, I'm not getting anything out of it. Even this happened to us with this case study as well. We went on and did the Instagram polls, but we didn't realize, okay, this is of no use, this data is of no use. You do things and you realize, okay, design is always iterative. So as Viraj very well put, ask why and what of things. If you are clear about that, data will always find its place.
So there's a lot of information that we did not add to the case study, as he said, because it did not help us.
Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Awesome. We have Ritik with us. Hey, Ritik.
Hello, everyone. I just want to ask, like, what motivates you and what's your vision regarding like 10K designers, and what your vision is, what you are seeing in the future is going to happen and you are building this. And second, I want to ask, like, if I research not on UX or anything, simply I researching, but many times I find it become boring after some time to research, because there is a lot of data available on internet and on any social media. If you gonna research, there is like a repetitive, or you become very bored and you just not want to get into deep into it. So how you how you handle that and research, continue to research. And third, how can I contact you, or anyone can get into your means? Can you share your email or anything?
Sure. Anyone wants to go?
You go first. We can add later.
Yeah. So I would say, bro, see, there are two aspects to this. First is reaching a point of burnout, and second is that you are not interested in it simply, right? For me, making screens, using picking colors, that is that doesn't interest me that much, but research does. So that's not my thing. So first of all, understanding, is it the right thing that you are doing? And it comes after a time. After 3 months of the 10K course, right? I understood that I need to boil down and research more. And coming down to the keeping up with the motivation, I think for me it's mostly the part of curiosity, where I'm like, bro, we know this much, what if we do this and we get to know this, and how can this help the product overall? So your point is very well valid, that it might get repetitive. It is so long, you can just go on and go on. Again, optimizing what you need to do, keeping that in mind. It can make you crazy, but yeah, you have to be sane with wide variety of choices and whatever you have. So yeah, man, just pick up what is needed and just be with that. Also, if you want to connect, I have dropped my Twitter handle in the chats. Others also please do, so that they can connect with us.
Okay, and what's motivate you, like 10K designers, means what's your vision about that, and what are you trying to build out of?
Anyone wants to go?
I think we can actually take this offline. I mean, we can actually discuss in DMs, because this might be something different from what we're discussing right here.
Yeah.
So no worries, Ritik. We'll all drop our social handles, and you can connect with us.
Bro, DM on Twitter. We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Awesome. We have Mohan with us. Hey, Mohan. I'm just.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I'm very impressive. I like the way you guys explained. My appreciations to you. You said about Viraj. You said about the problem statement, especially for this BlueLearn.
Yeah.
So, I'm basically new to UX. So my questions could be fundamental here. But what was the problem statement here? I mean, you might have done it for just to show us. That's fine. But there should have been some rationale behind taking this research. So could you explain that? I have another question, but you can answer this.
Sure.
And then I can
first of all, very, very great observation. So that's a mistake on my part. I'm sorry for that. So if you see the case study, we have not written problem statement anywhere. We had written mission, and as Rohan said, mission or objective, right? So the mission or objective was to study online community, right? So it was an objective. Then we went on choosing BlueLearn. As we said that we had some data, why BlueLearn? After that we chose it, and when we then went off with the case study, answering the question, what is a problem statement? So yeah. So what is a problem statement? Let's take an example, right? Let's take the example of Zomato. First of all, you go on the Zomato app, you see different food items, and then you place the order and it can go forward. But let's say in the Zomato app, you're facing difficulty in finding the right item at the right price that you want, right? So this is a problem, because if Zomato doesn't solve this, they will lose business in the longer term. Let's say you don't find, let's say you want a burger, but the app is not showing you burger on the first screen. It should do, because if they have the data, they should use the data in such a way that they are showing you, let's say you have ordered burgers in the past, right? So they have the data, so they can push forward the burger things on the front screen, but they are not doing that. So that's a problem. So this problem could be solved. So researchers do the research. Why is it not happening? And then they elaborate on this thing. So problem statement is nothing but a place where a company should work and make improvements upon. Yeah.
So basically, I would cut short the other set of questions, but I have the bigger problem here. I keep hearing UX UI means all about digital product, digital product, digital product. I know digital is one of the media for any product to to showcase, like you said about Zomato or anything. But what if I give you, what if I challenge you? Okay, I want to develop a product which definitely has an app, but I haven't developed a product. Probably I'll give a hypothetical case of I want to develop a water flow meter. Yeah. It's a completely a new product. It's a hardware product. All right.
It's a physical product.
It's a physical
Water
tangible
meter,
product,
right?
but it has an app. I'm just giving a hypothetical.
Got it.
I have a reason to say this, and then I want to ask you guys. You guys are expert into this. That I want to come up with this product. It does not just a digital product. It's also a physical product. So, but I haven't launched this. I have an idea in mind. I am working on it, and probably I have, invested my own money, and I have done this case. Probably gathered some people, experts. Yeah. But I want to launch this product. It's not just digital product. It's also physical product. So how do I take this case study and implement over that?
I mean, I think I can take this up, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi Mohan. Actually, I used to build physical products, right? So yes. I have a experience in that part. Again, not an expert, but so just asking more on this. You're fusing a digital product and a physical product together, right? So yes. Again, a very basic thing, like Rohan said again, in UI UX design or product design, it's an iterative model. You find points, you again go back to research and again get on with your designs. But when you're building a physical product, it's called it's known as a waterfall model, right? In when you're building physical products, at every stages you have gates where you need to make sure that your work has been completed according to your objectives till a particular part. Because if you're ready with the 3D designs, you're ready with the assembly designs, and you have actually hired a vendor or a manufacturer to manufacture your product, you cannot really go back in your designs and your CAD drawings, your 2D drawings to change something, right? You'll as a business, you'll incur a huge cost. So I think the first thing would be to separate these two. Yes, obviously there's a good similar experience building products, but both of them operate on a totally different mental model.
True.
Right. And if you ask about the physical product, first I would ask, why are you building the water flow meter in the first place? Where this particular product will be used? What's its use case? Water flow meter in farms, water flow meter in your household appliance, like in your home, or XYZ places. You find that. According to that, you'll actually think about the size and all the physical parameters, right? What material should be made. So there'll be other aspects like metallurgy, material science coming into it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a totally different concept. Again, like this discussion can go on forever, right? In terms of physical products, yes, we can discuss more, but it's a huge question that we have. We'd love to take it offline. Yeah. But I hope you got that idea, that the approach is quite different in both the cases. And when you have both the, you can say, idea on both the cases, and then you try to fuse it. Okay, what I really want to, why I need to fuse them together in the first place is the first question I would be asking.
Yeah.
Also,
Mohan, also, Mohan, we are beginners, right? So please don't call us experts. We are here just to share.
No.
You are still learning, right?
No. Just to admit here, I'm definitely elder than you. I'm 51 years old.
Wow.
I'm still young in heart, but I really appreciate you guys, including BlueLearn guys. I mean, they're amazing. I'm not a student, but I'm a student in my life. Yeah.
Learning never stops. Age is just a
Thank
number.
you so much. Yeah. Really, thanks for taking time. Thanks.
Mohan, you are 3 times my age.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm a software architect, by the way. I'm good in but I'm still learning this UX part because I'm trying to come up with my own product. So yeah.
All the best, Mohan.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Hats off. Yeah, thank you.
That was a really great question. Thanks a lot for asking that.
Yeah.
Again, we have Anurag with us. Question. We just unmute him. Hey, Anurag.
Hello, everyone.
Hey Anurag.
Anurag, what's up?
Yes, I just want to ask, how can I build career out of this UX research?
Bro, it's a job profile. Like as we published our case study, now some companies have read that case study because it got some fame on Twitter, right? So we had a part in a case study. It's called Why BlueLearn. Why did we choose BlueLearn? Because one of the aim of that was because BlueLearn was in the mouth of a lot of people because they raised funding very recently. That's why a lot of people read the case study, right? And this way they have seen our work, right? And once they have seen our work, they can approach for the jobs, right? So one of our mentor, which has also we are sharing the doc of Vaishnav, he just did a case study on WhatsApp, right? He made a hypothetical problem statement and did a case study on that. Swiggy, some people from Swiggy read that and he got hired. So it's a job. UX researcher is a job. And if you are a product designer, which is also called UI UX designer, this is one of the skill that also comes out, research. So yeah, that is pretty much it.
As a front-end developer, does it make me good at my research?
Again, one question came earlier as well. Bro, if you know, you are at no harm, right?
Yeah.
And it always plays out good. If you know, if you have some knowledge around the product, around something that you're already working on, it will definitely help. See, I earlier was doing marketing, now I'm doing UI UX. I don't know how is it helping me right now, but I'm very sure it will help me sometime in the future. So yeah, it plays out some way or the other. So I would say again, read an article a day, maybe something like that. It would be great. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Also,
you.
Anurag, the question you asked, like, will this help you as a front-end developer? I mean, we have some events will be coming up real soon. Like I guess next event is gonna be related to product design, and you will actually, get to know how this UX research will help you in designing your own design for your own front end, and that is a really vital skill even a developer needs. I mean, I'm myself an app developer, and I need to do some kind of a wireframing for my own, to just make my own components. So having a designing, a background, it's really helpful. Also, guys, how much time you guys have? Just
I think
wrap
we can
this up.
have the 3 questions that
All right.
yeah.
We have Dibabrata. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrect.
Dibabrata.
Yeah. Dibabrata, can you hear us? Can you hear us? I've unmuted you.
Hello,
Hey.
all the bros. Yeah, is audible to you?
I think your voice is lagging.
Bro,
Lagging,
serious lag.
Yeah, is audible to you?
Yeah.
Hello.
Now,
Oh, it's okay.
now it's
Sorry.
Okay, bro. Actually, I am from the normal coding background. Okay. So as the
okay. It's again lagging.
the
Bro, robot hours.
Can you drop your question?
Yeah. Can you just drop your question on
Chat instead.
the chat itself?
bro has said
Just mute him.
Devaprita, can you just
the
drop
chat is
your
disabled
question
now.
on the chat? Is it disabled? Yash?
I did muted him. I don't know. Oh yeah,
think
chat
Alright,
is I'll
next
enable
question
it. Deba Brata, you can put your question in chat.
Yeah. Till then we have Nihal. Hi Nihal.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hello.
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, Nihal.
Hi,
So,
both.
hi everyone. So, my basic question is, like most of you, when I go search for the UX researcher or UX, the person who is already doing UI UX. So I came to the fact that they are from engineering background or something from most of them are engineers. Okay, I don't know why it is happening, but I am from like BB. at a business economics course, so a 3 years course. So my doubt is that is there anything in engineering that is helping in UI UX? Basically, this is my question. I mean, I am a guy which is marketing or research type of person.
I think first Rohan should go.
Yeah.
Rohan is
Yeah,
from
Rohan.
a non-engineering background.
Yeah.
So see, engineers are everywhere, right? You can't deny that. मतलब ये तो unavoidable fact है. तो अगर इस हिसाब से देखो, engineers are everywhere in every field. That's unavoidable. So it's like, yeah, I mean, engineers develop a certain kind of logic, right? They have been taught logic. If you have been really taught, मतलब अगर मस्ती करी है कॉलेज में तब तो अलग बात है, but अगर ढंग से वो लॉजिक सीखा है तो then yes, of course, वो लॉजिक वाली चीज हेल्प करती है. UI UX not really. I mean, we are not developing anything here. Hrishikesh is a mechanical engineer. वो कुछ mechanical काम नहीं कर रहा है यहाँ पे. Sajal is a civil engineer, right? From a background. So that doesn't really help. वो सीमेंट नहीं डालेगा ना ऐप में. So it's not like वो चीजें really help कर रही हैं. Background doesn't really. The great thing is your skills matter here, right? You're talking about UI UX. UX is a different term from UI. UI is about visuals. UX is about research and finding the why and what of things.
Yeah.
Right. So engineering background, not really. I mean, anything can help. Anything can help. Like I was a 3D architect visualizer. Now I have to figure out myself how can I use that skill here. Right. Like Viraj was saying, he's from a marketing background. He will analyze and try to, use what he has learned from his experience here. So whatever you learn from whatever experiences, you have to use in that field. बाकी engineers तो हर जगह हैं bro. उसमें वो कुछ change नहीं कर सकते आप.
Don't get bogged down by it. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't get bogged down by it. हाँ, it helps. ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं होता है. Like engineering does teaches a little bit of problem solving. But again, going little meta here, but it's your own journey, right? Different people have different journeys. Viraj might have a added skill just because he worked in growth and marketing. Sajal can actually come up with a totally different concept that we three have never have thought of, just because he experienced something in his particular field. You can actually find inspiration from anywhere. Design is one such field, so that's actually a plus point, right?
Yeah.
So you can think in that particular way also. So yeah, I hope it answers your question.
Divyansh.
Yeah, we got a question from Dibabrata. Hey bro, hello bro. Actually, I'm from coding background. So as you said, the context, I thought that UXR is providing deeper perspective about end users. Fine. So so will some algorithm like sentimental analysis type of technology take over the job?
Can you repeat the last part?
Will some algorithm like sentimental analysis type of technology take over the job? Just a heads up, sentimental analysis is like I mean, it's a machine learning algorithm. So basically, you just go towards the past data. Let's say you have a tweets of let's say 3 months back, and it's about employees like will they be able to get the job, and if it's a positive reaction or a negative reaction, and so we just try to predict the end results depending upon that.
Yeah.
So is this type of stuff can work out for UX research? That's what you meant.
I would say it can. Who can stop the technology? It can. Truly, I don't think we are in a position to answer that, because neither we know UXR completely, neither we know the tech completely. So I would rather pass this question than answering something I don't have knowledge on.
It's fine, yeah.
None of us have knowledge.
If you think you can use it, you find something out, you can use it as a tool. I mean, you will have a competitive advantage over others. So think what you can think.
Yeah.
Might just write a research paper on this.
Is it so?
We have Nitish with us.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am Nitish. Just ignore my roll number on the ID.
No, it's good.
So I just wanted to know your overall experience of 10K designers. Like, how was it?
Bro, again, DM us on the Twitter, because this is not the part of this session. We'll discuss it there for sure.
For sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. That was a wrap, and thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. That was a really great session. I mean, I really got to know about UX research and might also, start working on my own product using your insights. So that was really great.
Yeah.
And and thanks for that small little gift, which is really helpful. And people will find it handy. Actually, something is coming up this weekend, which is Designathon, and it's actually going to help you in UX research at that time. So that research actually kind of came in handy. So for all the people who are here, we'll be opening the registration for Designathon tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. We'll be giving updates on WhatsApp and on our social media. So go and follow BlueLearn.in on Instagram and tune in for our registration. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. And this is the better way to wrap up our day 3 of design week. Yeah, see you guys.
Awesome. I see wonderful comments. So that's making me happy.
Thank you, guys.
Indeed,
I
this was a
hope-
very great session. Thank you all for taking it. Viraj, Rohan, Hrishikesh, Sajal. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
No worries, bro.
our pleasure.
Yes, our pleasure. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you
Also,
for
guys,
having us.
I've shared a feedback form, so everyone, you can just fill in. It's for us, for the management side, like how can we make your experience as an attendee better. So please make sure you can form it. It will just take you a few seconds. So thank you.
Consider this as a research we're doing on our own part.
Yeah, folks,
Yeah.
this is your first
Definitely
touch
do
of
that.
research. Go for the US feedback form now.
Yeah,
Notice
yeah.
what questions they have asked.
Yeah, how they can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Divyansh, one last thing. Can we also share the doc in the Discord server? I'll just
Yeah,
DM you.
just show, just send everything you want. Maybe all your Twitter handles, also that stuff. I will just put it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll share it in the announcement channel. So everyone who in the audience, if you want to get it, it will be in the announcement channel. As soon as they send us, we will put it there.
Yeah. Awesome.